So for this lesson for rec team, we'll start with some cardio conditioning. So we can start with some 15 seconds of jogging, and then 15 seconds of butt kicks, then some high knees. Make sure to focus on form on those. Then they'll do some jumps from side to side. They can do some straight jumps using their arms. They can do some lunge switches for 15 seconds and finish with some burpees for 15 seconds. And you can do that 2 or 3 times through, and they should be pretty exhausted by then. After that, we'll do some holds. So they'll do a 30-second hollow hold, and then they'll do a 30-second arch up. So they'll roll to their belly and bring their arms up. Then they can do a against the wall. They can come against the wall and do a squat. If you want, you can challenge them to put one leg out each for 15 seconds. They can do some releve hold for 30 seconds. We really want to work on body stacking in this lesson. And they can work on a squat hold for 30 seconds. Awesome. So that's the cardio at the beginning, and then they're going to do a nice long stretch, and for 15 minutes. So we're really going to try to work on body shaping this lesson. So they'll spend around 10 minutes working on handstands, and it's going to be all about body shaping. So they'll start laying flat on their back, and you'll come around and see if you can feel underneath. They can put their arms up. Some of them might need to lift their arms a little bit off the ground in order to get their back in the floor. Then they're going to turn on their belly, and they're going to pull their rib cage off the floor, and you're going to come around and feel right under their chest to see if their rib cage is off the floor, and they're nice and tight. Then they can come against the wall, put their hands on the wall, and do a nice deep shoulder stretch for shoulder mobility. Then they can come stand up, do their handstand against the wall, make sure to space out, and they can get their nose all the way to the wall and hold it for a little bit. Try to stay nice and stacked with straight elbows. And then they can come down, grab a hula hoop, and they'll work on some arabesque drills first. So they'll turn around, they'll do a lunge, arabesque, touch the wall, and stretch back up. They might have to figure out their spacing. And then they'll each take their hula hoop. I think this really helps with the spacing and making sure they know where their space is. So let them use those hula hoops as markers for where to be, and they'll do 10 handstands on each side. So 10 on their right and 10 on their left. Dan, go ahead. So then they're going to do their 10 minutes of event warm-up. So 3 minutes at bar, and they'll do pullovers, front supports, shoulder shrugs, shifting their weight from hand to hand. So just a nice little warm-up. They can hold arch or hollow front supports, and then they can come down and go to beam. And on beam, they're just going to work on their basic releve holds and releve walks down the beam. So forwards, sideways, and backwards. And you can do different types of holds with them together as well. Okay, and then they're going to come to floor. And on floor, they're going to work on their cartwheels and their rolls. And if they have any other basic skills, you can have them work on them as well, skills that they already have on their own. So then we're going to break up into 2 groups. On beam, they'll work on their pivot turns. So for the more beginner groups, you'll start really focusing on their pivot turns and their long stretched bodies. You can even break it down to quarters. And then when they get comfortable with those, you'll start working on some arabesque, some passe or coupe holds. You can have them do it starting from flat foot, then going to releve. And based on how well they're doing, you can start maybe doing some coupe quarter turns or half turns, but the focus should be on making sure they know how to turn and how to releve before they start lifting a leg. Of course, for the more advanced kids, this will be just the opposite. Their warm-up should start right away with maybe some coupe holds on releve or passe holds on releve. Based on how advanced they are. And if they have good quarter turns or good half turns on coupe and passe, you can start them off on full turns as well. So on bars, we're going to work on pullovers and back hip circles for most of the groups. Some kids might be a little more advanced, and you might want to start having them work on front hip circles or mill circles. So obviously they can work on their basic pullover. Some drills they can work on for pullover. A drill that they can work on is on the P-bars. So what they'll do is they'll lay down and they'll pull their chin to the bar, and then they can lay back and try to do a really big candlestick with their toes and bring it all the way over their head if possible. And that can be a really nice pullover drill for them to work on. And if you have any other pullovers drills, feel free to do them. Some back hip circle drills. So this is a back hip circle drill where you cast and you look at your toes as you bring them on top of the red mat. Nice. Another back hip circle drill. We turn the rings into a little basket. There we go. So you'll just put the two loops together, and then you'll put it over the bar, and you'll line up all of the hardware so that the kids don't get hurt, and you'll put it inside of the crash pad. And there you go. So the back hip circle drill here is you just do a back hip circle, but they can try it by themselves because they'll basically be sitting in the basket if they don't make it over. And the kids that are more advanced can use that exact same basket to do a front hip circle. So for the kids who are more advanced, you can have them work on a front hip circle. Don't go yet. And what you want to tell them to work on is a big, big arch where they're looking up, and they keep looking up, and as they go forward, they keep looking up and push up. Nice. And if you have any other front hip circle or back hip circle drills, you can do those as well. So hopefully you'll still have around 10-12 minutes left of class, and if that's the case, you'll set up the room in a big conditioning circuit so that they can keep getting a good workout. They really need to get strong, but also hopefully have a little bit of fun as class ends. Have fun. Okay, so we're going to do our basket swing over here. Let's see it. Good. Do one more, Ella. Back and up. Good. We're going to work on those weight shifts. Good. Go to the next bar, Ella.
Oh, do you want me to explain? Jump to front support.
Okay.
One leg over. Yeah. Yeah, just a regular little circle.
Nice finish.
Excellent. And
Good.
come down. We're going to start with one leg on top. Put your hands underneath with your grip backwards. Okay. And you're going to switch that grip and jump up without trying not to let your leg touch the bar. Okay. You can do one more. Okay. Jump up. That's all. That's it.
Good.
Next station. One more over here. So Ella's going to come in front of the cheese. Good. Push up position. Okay. Then she's going to do push-ups, and she's going to try to get her chest all the way down to the cheese and push back up.
Turn around, one foot up on that. Okay, we're going to reach our hands to the end. And this barrel is here for you to imagine that you are going to make this shape, round shape, when you get over. Okay, and you're going to finish right on the other side. Go ahead, reach for the end of the mat, round up, stretch out. Okay?